Okay. Okay, let's settle in. Find a nice seat. Just close your eyes. Welcome yourself to practice. I welcome you to practice. And I don't really have a theme today except for leaving yourself open to grace. And when I taught Anusara Yoga, that was the very first principle, was open to grace. And you might be saying, what does that mean? And open to grace is just leaving yourself open to what happens during the day. So you might have a plan. You might want to control exactly how your day goes, but it never usually works out the way you plan. And so you just leave yourself open to what is happening in the moment. Maybe leave yourself open to a power in the world, the universe, just kind of directing you a different way than what you planned. And appreciating every moment. Just like your breath is always there. Power that is kind of the ultimate director, always there. Things happen. We just go with the flow. So really take a moment to feel your breath, feel your body. Turn inward. Let go of anything that's been going on in your morning, so you can be totally present here. And please bring hands to heart center. May we always leave ourselves open to grace, so we can benefit from all the blessings and the beauty that's always around us if we appreciate it. And please lower your hands, open your eyes, and go ahead and start on your back. And just stretch your feet long and your arms over your head. Stretch out a little bit. And then keep your left leg grounded and just hug your right knee in. You can interlace around the knee if you want to. Point and flex your foot a few times. Keep the left leg grounded, the left heel grounded, the right hip crease in line with the left. And then bring the knee off towards the right side, just kind of towards your armpit a little bit. And then just support the outside of your knee with your right hand. Bring your left arm out to the side and extend the leg long and flex the foot. Really flex it so you feel a stretch. And then you can point it with all that muscle energy. Point and flex a few times. See how that feels. And then bend the knee again. Hug it back in. Just make a little circle, kind of. I like to put my hands on top of the knee, just kind of grounding the top of the femur into the hip socket. Good. And then release that right leg to the floor, and we'll just do that on the left side. So interlace around the left shin, hug it in, ground the right leg. You point and flex a few times. And bringing the right arm off to the side, allow the left leg to come, knee to come closer to the armpit. See how that feels. Flex the foot and then extend the leg, supporting it with your hand. Right leg stays grounded. Flex, point. Selfishly, this practice is really about kind of stretching out your body after bike riding. So, and then hug it back in. And just rotate it in the socket a little bit. Crack, crack. Oh, here comes Artemis. She was a sick girl while I was gone, but she's all better now. I think she missed me. Good. And then bring your feet flat. Bring the soles of your feet together, hands on your belly, and just open up to Supta Baddha Konasana. See how that feels. Sometimes it feels okay. The beginning of practice, for me, it always feels kind of sticky in my hips. And then closing the knees, bring the feet to the edges of the mat with the knees bent. Bring your arms to cactus and just do some windshield wipers, just kind of flowing side to side, checking in with your hips. Feeling where you feel tight, where you feel good. Then when you're evened out, hug your knees in, both knees in, interlace around there. And think, I'm going to lengthen my spine and then lift my tailbone and my head and chest so I can roll into a little ball. Draw your belly button down. Good. And then release, roll to the right side. and come on up to all fours. And I encourage you to have your blocks handy because we're going to use them in a minute. You want to bring them to the front of your mat and then move through some cow cats and just move slow. Just warming up everything. Start with your tail. You can really feel both poses. Moving slowly through the vertebrae, just kind of noticing, where do I feel tight? Where do I feel open? And then pause and sit back to a child's pose. So for me, it's more comfortable if I widen my knees and bring the big toes together, but you decide. And keep your arms fully stretched along. And then just a little bit more with your right hand. Stretch the right hand a little further forward. Maybe shift your hips to the right a tad bit. Feel a nice stretch in the right side body. And then relax and do that with the left side. So left fingertips sneak forward. Shift your hips to the left. And then relax back into it. And really stretch both hands long now and come up on fingertips. Lift the armpits, broaden the clavicles. Maybe forehead comes down, lengthen the back of the neck. And make your way back up to all fours. And bring your hands on the blocks now in all fours position. Maybe the hands slightly in front of the shoulders. And we're going to do cat-cow again, but we're going to add a little leg action. So curl the toes under so your feet are flexed and lift just the right knee up. And as you do, come more to a cow pose. So keep the hips square, but curve your back. Good. Now point the toe, bring your knee towards your nose and round to cat. And do that again. Flex the foot as you bring the knee back. Feel the hamstring work. Cow pose. And then point the toe, knee to nose, cat. 2 more times. Flex, lift. Oh. Point. Bring it forward, cat. Last time. And then bring the right knee down. And we'll switch sides. So set up, you feel nice and connected in your core. Bring the left knee up. Keep the left hip crease in line with the right hip crease to cat or cow pose. And then point and round to cat. Flex and lift. Use the hamstring. You feel that curve in your back. Point and round. Push the hands forward. 2 more times. Flex, lift. Just go slow so you can really feel your spine moving. point around. Last time. And round. And bring the knee down. Good. Now grab your blanket. Hopefully you guys have one at home. And I'm going to encourage you to, I'm going to make mine a little taller. So make a big rectangle so that you can make a pretty small roll and pretty tight roll. I want it to be, so yeah, good. That'll work perfect, Lisa. Blanket origami again today. And then once you get that, you're gonna bring the blanket on your legs. You're gonna have to lean forward a little bit because I want you to snug it in behind your knees as close as you can. And then you kind of have to hold it in place as you sit back on your heels. Now, if it's too intense, you can curl the toes under and not sit back as far. Or if it doesn't feel good at all, you don't have to sit back as far. Just adding the space behind your knees hopefully feels really good. Just take a few breaths there. The core engaged. One more breath. And then come on forward and just move the blanket back a little bit to your calves. Make sure your feet are pointing straight back. A big stretch on your ankles too, and then sit back again. Little calf stretch. Yeah. Make sure you have all 10 toes grounded. I always have to hug my right ankle in because it has a tendency to be lazy. And then last time, come forward and move it back now right to your ankles. And hold it in place as you sit back there. Your knees and your hips should be in line. This is a pretty deep ankle stretch and foot. One more breath. And then come forward and just move the blanket off to the side. Hands back on the blocks. And come up to a downward facing dog. And I want you a little higher on the blocks just so you can really see your feet. Make sure that both sides of your feet point straight forward. Your arches are lifting. And then you can bend your knees a little bit to stretch your heels back towards the floor a little bit more. Yeah. And then just bend one knee and the other and walk it out. And then come forward to plank on the blocks. Lift the heels high. I like to move forward and back a little bit to keep my interest. Keep your core strong, rib cage back. Good. Push back, downward facing dog. It'll feel easier this time. And then step your feet towards your blocks. Come to a forward fold there. You can keep the hands on the blocks if that's good for you. Just study your feet. Are you really using all parts? Maybe you need to bend your knees a little bit. Feel really connected through feet and legs. And then very slowly roll all the way up to standing, one vertebrae at a time. Go nice and slow. You can feel that everything works together. Good. And then when you are upright, stretch your arms up, hook your thumbs, draw the lower ribs towards each other, and then arc to your right. On your next inhale, come back to center, and exhale, arc to your left. Good. Inhale back to center. Exhale, unhook your thumbs, face your palms towards each other, and then sit back to a chair pose, being very mindful of your feet being connected. Maybe try to engage the kneecaps more. You're going to lean forward somewhat, at least I do when I'm in chair pose. This is good practice for RAGBRAI because we always have to hover in those porta potties. Good. Now swing your arms back behind you and lean forward a little bit more so your back is somewhat flat and parallel to the floor. Good. And then sweep them back up to that chair pose. Draw your rib cage back. Stay really connected. Sits bones back. And again, lean forward. Swing the arms back. Maybe this time interlace the hands. Stretch the knuckles back. Burn, baby, burn. And you're one more time. Swing the arms forward. It's Utkatasana. You got this. And then fold forward. Hands to the blocks. I'm going to step my feet forward just a little bit more and step my right foot back to a deep lunge. And then just kind of notice there, both feet straight ahead. Maybe the heel lifts a little more. Left foot really grounded. And then try and lift the low belly a little bit. You'll feel your quads and your hamstrings engage. And then sweep your arms back. You're still hovering over your left hip or thigh. Let's see if that works. One more breath. And touch down. Well done. Step back to a plank pose on the blocks. Push back, downward dog. Extend the right leg and then step it through to a deep lunge. Same thing, just really pay attention, maybe lift the kneecaps, really engage the feet, hover over that right leg, arms sweep back. Draw your low belly up. couple breaths. Lengthen through the top of the head. The back of the neck is nice and long. And on your next exhale, touch down. Step back, plank pose. Lower the knees here. Set your blocks off to the side for a moment. And come on down to the mat. Stretch the feet long. Press them down. Lengthen the back of the neck. Lengthen the spine. And come up to cobra. Wherever it feels good. Feel long and connected. Shoulder blades back. Clavicles broadening. Good. And then come on back down. Push back to all fours. And get your blocks back to your hands. It's just a little easier. Find some more room there and make your way downward facing dog. And please extend the left leg, keeping the hip creases square, and then step the left foot through to a deep lunge. Ground the back foot down. And make your way up to warrior two position. And just kind of really focus on your legs and your feet to engage, and then add the arms. And you're gonna do this really slowly. So hug your right hip in a little bit so you feel more connected in the core. And then very slowly straighten the left leg, trying to lift the kneecap. And then on the exhale, bend it. Tracking it straight. Good. 2 more times we're going to do that. So hug right hip in, really ground the right foot down as you straighten. Feel the kneecap lift and bend. One more time. You can feel all the muscles in your leg working, and then bend back into it. Good. Bring your left elbow to your knee and stretch your right arm up. Think rib cage back, especially bring your arm forward a little bit, so your hands forward. Think I'm going to hollow out that armpit, lengthen through the top of my head, and then stretch the arm. And maybe bring it by the ear. And feel from your right foot through your right fingertips, lots of length, connection. Right foot's grounded. Good, and then touch down. Turn the back heel up. Step back, downward, facing dog. And let's do that same sequence on the other side. So extend the right leg, just see how that feels today. And then step it through to a deep lunge. Ground the back foot down. Make sure you're fully connected with both feet and legs. Come up, warrior two. Hug the left hip in so you can really feel the core long. You can feel that back foot grounded. You're tracking the right knee straight. And then 3 times, you're just gonna straighten the right leg. Really feel all parts, all the muscles working. And then bend. 2 more times. So inhale, straighten, feel the back leg holding you, lift the kneecap, really feel the quads and the hamstrings working, and then bend back into it. Last time. Inhale, straighten, feeling everything, and bend back into it. When it feels like you're fully stretched, bring your elbow to your knee, left arm up. You can get that rib cage feeling back, turn your belly and your chest towards the side a little more. Armpits hollow. Maybe stretch it by the ear. And then just notice that length from left foot clear through left fingertips. Parshvakonasana. Utthita Parshvakonasana. One more breath. And please touch down. Deep lunge, downward dog. Inhale to plank on the blocks to hold. Move forward and back if that helps you. Think really broaden the clavicles, stay connected. Front and back of the shoulders. Good, lower the knees. Move the blocks. So you can come down to the mat. And lift into a little baby cobra. And lower. Curl the toes, push back to all fours. I'm going to encourage you to use the blocks again. Come to downward facing dog. And step forward to a forward fold. Inhale, pranam. Exhale, fold. And inhale, sweep all the way up. Stretch your arms up. Look up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Bend your knees, come to Utkatasana again. The arms stretching up, hollow armpits. Good. Sweep the arms back, interlace the hands, flat back. Stay for a breath. Inhale back up, Utkatasana, draw the rib cage back. And exhale, fold forward, hands to the blocks. Step your right foot back to a deep lunge again. Ground the back foot down. Come up to that warrior two position again. Just being mindful. I always have to bend my right knee and see, do I have the hip crease back? Can I hug that hip in a little bit? And then add the arms. Good. Straighten the front leg slowly, just like you did before. Lifting the kneecap. And then fold into triangle pose. Go slow. You can slowly work your way down there if that is better. Belly and chest to the side. Lengthen through the top of the head, through the back of the neck. Stretching the clavicles apart, really broadening. And then sweep the arms forward, bend the knee, deep lunge. Step back, down dog. Inhale to plank. Hold. On your next inhale, push back, downward facing dog. Extend the right leg and step it through to deep lunge. Ground the back foot down. Make your way warrior two position. Feeling your way. Hug the left hip in. Lengthen tall. Very mindfully straightening the front leg, utilizing all the muscles, the quads, the hamstrings, the muscles around the knee, and then fold into triangle pose. Pressing the little toe side, the left foot down, best you can, feeling all parts of that foot. Opening the chest and the belly, lengthening. And then stretching left arm down to the block, bending the knee. And step back, down dog. Just move the blocks to the side. This time you get to hold plank. You can take child's pose if you're ready for that, or if you want to do vinyasa, but we're going to hold the plank for a few breaths. Utilize all parts of your hands. Take a breath. Lengthen your spine. One more breath. And on the exhale, lower down. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, lower. Curl the toes, push up to plank. Good. Hold for one more breath. And push back, downward doggy. And please step your hands or your feet to your hands for a forward fold. Forgot where I was. And find your blocks again. Oh, yeah. Inhale, pranam. Exhale, fold. And inhale, sweep all the way up. Stretch your arms up. And exhale, hands through heart center. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, Utkatasana. You're going, oh no, not that again. Sweep the arms back, interlace them if that works for you, or just sweep them back, flat back, low belly up, feet are really pointing straight ahead, back to Utkatasana. And fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, pranam. And exhale, fold. Shake out your head for a moment. And then I'm going to have you, I encourage you to put your blocks on the higher height. and step your right foot back just to like 3.5 feet, and just check, are my heel and my sits bone lined up on both sides? Make sure the arches are lifting. You're straightening your left leg. This is pyramid pose. Just kind of take a moment to feel that. Lengthen your spine. And then if you want to, you can fold deeper. Just kind of think, I'm folding right at the hip creases. They're even. Maybe I can stretch deeper through the hamstrings, through the glutes. Feel it in your shin. You can feel it everywhere. Feel the right heel really grounded. And then come up like a pranam. And I want my wrists to be right under my shoulders. And think, sits bones stay back and apart. I'm not making a curve, but I'm really lengthening my spine. Bring the left hand on the hip. Now try not to allow the hips to shift one way or another. Just use your core and twist to the left. And just see where it takes you. And then if it feels like your left shoulder's kind of somewhere near your right, over the top of your right shoulder, then maybe extend the arm. Twisted triangle. Draw the armpit hollow on that left one especially. Good, one more breath. And please touch down. Woofda. Step forward. Seems like it should be so easy, but it's not. Left foot back now. And just far enough that you can really feel grounded through both heels. And I always notice, does my right heel line up with my right sits bone? My left heel line up with my left sits bones? And am I shifting my hips one way or another? Are they parallel to each other? And then if they are, then I might shift my focus to my feet to see if they're fully engaged. And if they are, then I just maybe bend at the hip creases and fold a little deeper. I want you to feel stable. If you don't feel stable, you may have to step your left foot forward a little bit to get more grounding through that heel. And then come up to a pranam. Left hand stays where it is. Everything stays the same. Right hand to the hip though. And then just twist the upper body to the right. Maybe extend the arm if it feels like that's a good thing to happen and you don't have to shift your hips. Really nice, Lisa. I'm sure it's beautiful for you guys at home too. One more breath. And exhale, touch down. Ooh, good job. Step forward, forward fold. Move the blocks out of the way. And I'm going to try this with you guys. Move your hands forward a little bit so they're in front of your feet. And step your right foot back to a shorter, deep lunge. And then turn your left foot out and shift to the little toe side of your right foot. Actually, it might be easier with a block under your right hand. And then twist to your left. Feel it in that hip. This is called big old butt stretch. It's kind of a variation of Vasisthasana, but it gives you more hip stretch because of the way, the angle your leg's at. Good. Turn the right heel up turn the left foot forward and step forward. And then left foot back, not too far. Turn the right foot out. Left hand's on the block, little toe side of the left foot. Big old butt stretch in that right side. Ooh. keep the hips lifted. Yeah, good job. Try and get on the bottom of your left foot a little more. And then touch down. And go ahead and step back to down dog. And move the blocks to the side. One more vinyasa. Inhale to plank. Exhale to the mat. Inhale, cobra. Exhale to the mat. And just stay there with your hands planted. Bring your forehead down. Bend your knees and flex your feet. Press the knees down to blossom your butt up a little bit. And then think rib cage back, long back of neck. Lift the head and chest. See how that feels. Maybe reach your right hand back, see if your right foot's there. And then maybe your left hand reaches for your left foot or ankle. And then go ahead and kick back a little bit. Give yourself a little more stretch. Dhanurasana. Broaden the clavicles. Rib cage stays back. And release down. Hi, Artie. Hands under forehead. Relax for a moment. Notice your heart rate. Just breathe and slowly watch it slow down. And then go ahead and push back to your knees, and I'm going to have you adjust your blanket. Come to a seated position. You may not need the blanket because you're so open. And then just sit on it with your legs extended. Maybe half the inner spiral. I think I'm going to go with a little less. And then just bend your right knee. And bring it in close to your sits bone, and then bring the bottom of your foot against your thigh and let your knee open. So this leg's straight ahead. This is not the normal Janu Shirshasana. They can't see, Artie, because you're in the way. And then just see how that feels. If you need to adjust, if your knee's way up in the air, then you can use a block under it or a blanket. If you're not using your blanket. But if it feels good to have it just off to the side, then do that. And then just kind of face your extended leg. Your left hand's off to the side. Maybe reach the right hand for the outer shin. And just slowly folding at the hip creases, fold forward. Janu Shirshasana. You'll feel a big stretch in your right inner thigh, your right buttocks, your right side body. But keep the left side body nice and long too. Really active feet. And then come on back up. Lift that foot up and bring the ankle across the thigh. Or if you want to, you can come to half lotus position, whichever works better for you. And just feel that. And you're going to feel more stretch in your hip. And if it feels good and you want to stretch forward again, you can. Just keep thinking low belly up, long spine, then fold. Either baby cradle or half lotus. One more breath. And then grab your foot and your knee. Keep the foot flexed and just bring it across so you can stack knee on top of knee for half Gomukhasana. And maybe fold forward or not. You'll decide how tight your hip feels or your hamstrings or whatever it is that kind of says, whoa, that's enough. And then come on back up. We've really worked on hips, so I hope this feels good. You're just going to stay in this position. Bring your left hand to your knee, your right hand behind you, and twist in this Gomukhasana position. Ooh, 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 that's deep. Low belly up. Sits bones grounded. Nice tall spine. Good. Unwind. Bring that leg out. Shake it out. And we'll switch sides. Really. So bend the left knee. Inner edge of your leg, your foot comes to see how that feels. This angle is almost 90 degrees, maybe not quite. My shins maybe 90 degrees to that leg. And I see, oh, maybe I need to inner spiral a little bit more. Nice and tall. Keep the big toe mound grounded, and then maybe reach for the outer shin with your left hand and fold. I always keep my extended legs super active. And in fact, the foot is probably just as flexed as the other one and active. So that feels safer to me. And come on up. And bring the ankle across. Or if you like half lotus, you can do that. Make sure your extended leg is up. Good to me. And maybe fold. You decide. My one hip feels a lot tighter than the other. You always have to adjust, just kind of see how everything's feeling and adjust. Don't try and go so deep that it's painful. It just is a good stretch. And then come on up, lift the foot and the knee, bring it across. Half Gomukhasana. I always have to face that extended leg and then maybe fold forward. And then coming up, we'll do that twist. So right hand to the knee, left hand behind. Just see how that feels in your hip. And come on back to center. Stretch your legs long, shake it out. And this time bring your feet wide. You don't have to go as wide as possible, just wherever it feels good. I always have to inner spiral so I can feel really super grounded. Press the heels down and maybe fold. Upavista. Like to kind of sway just to see that feels really tight on that side. Maybe not as tight on that side. See where you want to linger. One more breath. And then come on back up, bring the feet together. Extend the legs long, flex the feet, arms forward. And remember when you rolled up to standing, I want you to roll down to the mat now. So think really strong core, feet grounded, strong legs. Roll slowly down to the mat. Oops, my blocks. Make sure your blocks not in the way. Good. Stretch your arms over your head. Stretch your feet long. Bend your knees. Bring the soles of the feet together. Hands on your belly. Supta Baddha Konasana. Hopefully it'll feel a lot easier at this point because you've done so much work on your hips. And then closing your knees. Bring the feet wide, arms to cactus. Windshield wiper again. And then with both knees up, hug the knees into your chest. Just kind of roll side to side. You can massage the low back and then roll up into the ball again. So lift the tailbone, lift the head, the chest, and then release. And make your way to Shavasana. So extending the legs long. Just bring your palms facing up, maybe your arms a little wider. You feel like you really are leaving yourself open and vulnerable. And open to whatever comes your way today. And then just scan and relax. Notice if your shoulder blades are in a good position, just if they aren't. Relax your belly and your low back. And all the muscles in your legs that you worked so hard. Just see if you can let go of the muscle energy and the tension there. And in your feet as well. And as you drift off, just wanted to share some thoughts on for Marianne Williamson. My heart beats, my lungs breathe, my ears hear, my hair grows, and I don't have to make them work. They just do. Planets revolve around the sun, seeds become flowers, embryos become babies, and with no help from me. Their movement is built into a natural system. I am an integral part of that system too. I can let my life be directed by the same force that makes flowers grow, or I can do it myself. To trust in the force that moves the universe is faith. Faith isn't blind, it's visionary. Faith is believing that the universe is on my side and that the universe knows what it's doing. Faith is a psychological awareness of an unfolding force for good, constantly at work in all dimensions. My attempts to direct this force only interferes with it. My willingness to relax into it allows it to work on my behalf. Without faith, I'm frantically trying to control what it is not my business to control, and to fix what it is not in my power to fix. What I'm trying to control is much better off without me. And what I'm trying to fix can't be fixed by me anyway. Without faith, I'm wasting time. Faith is really leaving yourself open to grace. To notice that your heart is still beating. Your breath is still moving in and out. You still have hands and feet, and start to move them in small ways. Start to move a little more when you're ready. Drawing the knees in. Take your time. Rolling to the right. Pushing on up to seated. As you find a nice seat, settle in. Just feel like you're supported from the back, so you can lean back in space. You feel a little better supported. The back body is known as the universal body. Front body is the self. So if you can trust and have faith, you'll feel more comfortable leaning back. And please bring hands to heart center. Appreciate you having faith in me, my teaching skills today, and for being here. And I bow to the beautiful light that shines from each of you. Namaste. Have a fabulous Friday, everybody, and weekend. Pause.